This episode is ad-free on the Patreon. So if you want to partake in that, you can head on over to patreon.com/reality tea times 2. Patreon going strong. If you want to go over there and join in on the fun, we got 3 tiers on Canadian dollars. First tier is $3 a month, where you get these episodes ad-free. You also get AMAs once a month, or Learn About Me episode once a month. And then on the second tier, which is $5 a month, you get everything from the first tier, as well as coverage of a reality show of yesteryear. That's right now Jersey Shore, currently in season 3. You can also go to the main feed, where there will be the first episode of every season released there. So you can try that before you head over to the Patreon. And then on the third tier, you get everything from the first 2 tiers, as well as coverage from a true crime documentary. We got the backlog of Ashley Madison documentary, Man of 1,000 Kids, Into the Fire, Lacey Peterson, and again, all those episodes for the first episode of each is in the main feed, so you can try that before you head over. So if you are interested, you can head over to patreon.com/reality tea times 2, and you can sign up for whichever tier you feel for. Again, you can try before you buy, which basically means you can try any tier for a week before committing to it. Even if you are on other tier, if you are on tier 1 or the first tier and you want to go over to the second tier, you could still try that second tier for a week before committing to the upgrade. So again, that is at patreon.com/reality tea times 2. And of course, the link is in the show notes, website, social media accounts. It's all available there. Hi, everyone. Before we head into this episode, just want to say this whole episode, just based on what's been kind of happening with TFP and Dakota, this is just a massive trigger warning. We are going to be talking about people who are accused of domestic violence, gnarly domestic violence. We are kind of trugging on through this, though, despite that. So I just want to say trigger warning for that. If you need to skip this episode, by all means, please do so. If you need to skip over TFP mentions at all, which is unfortunately most of the episode, please do. I understand that 100%. So yeah, if you need that, please, by all means, please do so. I understand. But anyways, enough of me. Let's head into the episode. Welcome to Reality Tea Times 2, the podcast where we discuss all of the trash reality TV. I keep switching it up. And we all have to hate. I'm Janika. Anyways, so let's just jump into the reason that we're here, and that is episode 2 of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. So we left off with Taylor picking up this dude from the airport. His name is Ben. They go have a dirty soda, which I've never had before, but apparently I think it's supposed to be really sweet. I need to stay clear of that. But the timing is a little bit off, seeing as she's just been announced as a Bachelorette at this point. She had actually just did a podcast that she was going to be coming out with the big news. But apparently she already told him that she's going to be doing the Bachelorette. Or is she? Or fucking is she? She was on the Call Her Daddy podcast. So that's where they officially announced that she was going to be the next Bachelorette. But Ben is a Christian. He's not Mormon. She says, "What do you think about Mormons?" He's like, "Well, I heard you guys are a cult." Well, sir, technically they are, because they started off as a cult. But what religion isn't? What religion really isn't a cult? You know what I mean? Anyways, So all of Mom Talk is coming to see Taylor after the announcement, and now they're also going to be meeting Ben because Doy, he's here too. And I don't think they expected to meet him. I don't even think they thought he'd be here. So Whitney is visiting Jen at her new place because she got the fuck out of there. To Whitney's happiness. Then Zach calls and spills the tea. But he has been asked not to spill all of the tea or really any of the tea. Zach, spill it. What are you not telling us? We know it's about Dakota, the fact that you're not telling anything. Come on. Then the women show up to meet Ben, and Demi is also here. Why? Who invited her? So Ben apparently just got laid off a month ago. Red flag number one. I mean, shit happens, but you know what I mean? So have you ever dated a woman with kids? No. Bitch, she has 3. You never really? He holds Macy's baby, but then he starts crying, so he basically just hands him back to the mom, and she's like, "No, you failed. He's not gonna take care of your baby." But how do you feel about Bachelorette because she's just been announced as the next Bachelorette? Or did she? Well, if she finds someone who makes her happier, then that's fine. You would have dodged a bullet. Then we reenact handing out some roses that we'll never get to see whether or not she aced that, but I digress. And then Taylor hands out her first impression rose, which we will never see her do in real life, to Ben, and that's the only first impression rose we're ever going to see. Holy shit. And then he kisses her. Then Mayci calls Jacob, spill the tea. He too will not spill any tea. She's like, you're the worst liar. I know there's tea to be spilled and you're not spilling it. Layla says, Mason wouldn't say anything either. That is so weird because they're all protecting something or someone. So Jessi and Demi are meeting up. Eugh. So have you talked to Jordan? Yeah, apparently Lisa asked Jordan if he wanted to talk to Marciano, and he said yeah. And he did say something about how he said that he told Demi, like, I love you, and that they kissed. And hey, Demi, the production's like, hey, Demi, what's your reaction to those allegations? Insert crickets here. Because she declined being interviewed this season. Mm-mm-mm. But they're going to see Gabby, who is a spiritual healer and psychic, to see if she really can trust Demi. The answer is no. So Layla picks up Mason and Chase after the villa. More crickets, y'all. We're just cricking it up in this bitch. No tea is being spilled again. But I think it was Chase who's like, Dakota, he's so funny. I would love to hang out with him all the time. Ew. Zach is so cool too. Okay, wrap it up. We gotta go. This is ridiculous. We're just going to say all of the toxic men are really cool. Great. Chase is a red flag. Jacob is also like, I'm gonna look out for Dakota and not talk about what he did to protect both Dakota and Taylor. You know what? That might be for the best. Might be for the best. So, did you guys have fun? Oh yeah. Then Jordan spills the tea about some Alicia chick who Dakota kissed and essentially had sex with her. Took him 2 seconds. 2 seconds to fold. Oh my God. Okay, so he's over Taylor now? Silence. No, he's not over Taylor. He's just trying to get his dick wet. He's not over her. So we got this session with Gabby, Demi, and Jessi. So Demi did admit to having Brett drive by the house. That's so weird. Demi says, I feel like I can't fully trust you because of the things that were said online. Bitch, are you insane? Like, seriously. Delusion. If delusion was a person, it's her. Like, are you for real? You can't trust her? Bitch. Anyway, Gabby says this situation with Marciano was emotional cheating. And Demi says, it wasn't. Yes, it was. I wasn't interested in him in any way, but you were. But Blanche, you were. And Jessi is like, she told me she took it too far. So she's telling you that off camera. But on camera, she gotta save face and say, it wasn't cheating. What the fuck? Hey, Demi, any thoughts about what's being said here? I love the shade of this whole thing with the crickets and Demi. It's amazing. Just brava to the editors. Now we are with Dad Talk going to dinner. Sans sack, of course. The girl has been DMing Dakota, the one for whom he's had sex with at the villa. So Taylor, does she know about the villa? No, I don't know. And Jacob was like, you said he hooked up with a bunch of people the minute you left the villa. Actually, it was before. He told Jessi 2 days before. And the guys are pissed. Especially Dakota. Chase is like, he's not your boy. Because, like, he's telling, like, they all agreed they were not going to say anything. But then he goes off and he tells Jessi. And Chase is pissed. Like, it's hilarious how pissed he is. He's like, I mean, I didn't tell him about Taylor's guy. You just did. Son of a bitch, you just did. That's even worse. And Chase is like, hey, dude, have some accountability. How shit this has gone full circle. Because wasn't it not you who told me that in season 2? Roll the clip, because that is exactly what happened. He says, I am just trying to look out for my marriage. You don't have to tell Jessi everything, though. You don't. And it wouldn't necessarily be considered lying. It's not your story to tell. And if Jessi is going to get mad about that, well, that says more about her than it does about you. Okay, so don't tell him shit because he has to tell Jessi. And Chase is like, this was his idea to say nothing in the first place. But then here he goes saying something. Because he's a dummy, that's why. Yeah, that's why your wife is sleeping in a Hyatt every 2 weeks. Oh, shit. Oh, okay. It's true. But Chase is coming hard for Jordan. I think he's the viewership at this point. And Dakota does not feel like he can trust Jordan. Maybe fair enough. I get why he's doing what he did. I just don't think he's trying to be vindictive, but like, still. Then the reunion is coming. Taylor is here because she needs help looking for a dress. Jordan is really happy that Taylor is here as well for reasons. Because I didn't tell Dakota about Ben. I just want you to know that, but you actually did. Did he, she asked him, like, did he sleep with anyone? Which I don't know why that matters, Taylor. If you guys aren't together, who the fuck cares what he's doing? But he's like, no, you know what? I'm not going to answer anything. That's an answer. Like, what the fuck? That's an answer. Okay, so did he or he didn't? Like, and Jessi says, if you want to know, I will tell you. He did. Then Taylor, her issue with this is that before he left to go to the villa, he tells her, like, I love you and all of this. And then he goes and has sex with someone else and she's heartbroken. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. It doesn't matter that he's saying all that shit to you. Y'all are toxic. You are in a toxic fucking situation and you have a 2-year-old son. Think about how this is going to fuck him up. Fuck off with you two. Find out what's going to happen. Like, think about how this is going to fuck him up going forward. This is what the two of them don't fucking understand. You're fucking with your child and his sanity. Stop being so fucking selfish and be grown-ass fucking adults and be fucking parents to your kid first and foremost. This is what I can't stand. and it's gonna get worse. But that is episode 2. Turner only talked about this for about 12 minutes, so we're gonna take a quick break here, and then we will jump in with episode 3. Hi everyone. So I have something new for you. This is Noble Dutch. So, just a quick little thing about them. They make high quality, plant-based, and convenient food that fuel your body and fits your routine. Whether you're juggling work, family, fitness, or personal goals, they make sure that you always have access to wholesome, gluten-free meals that, of course, you can trust. So, they have basically meals that you can get that are tasty, healthy, and ready in just 8 minutes. And again, it's vegetarian, it's gluten-free, and it's packed with 11 grams of protein. Yes, please. They have some meals, for example, like the instant jasmine rice and tomato sauce. And again, that's ready in 8 minutes. And it comes in 12 bowls, a carton, and it contains ingredients like jasmine rice, tomato sauce, chili oil, soya chunks, carrot and peas, and a spoon in case you need that as well. So basically, it's quick and easy. You would pour that jasmine rice and the carrots and those peas into a bowl, and then you would add boiling water up to the marked line inside of that bowl, close the lid and let it sit for 8 minutes. And then you would open, add the needed amount of tomato sauce and chili oil into that bowl, stir, and enjoy. Very simple, very easy. So you can earn Dunch points with every meal. You can basically get a point per dollar that you spend. You can get 60 free birthday Dunch points, and you can get 50 points per referral when you refer a friend as well. And that all kind of adds up. So if you're interested in that and you want to take part in this, you can head over to my link that helps support not only Noble Dutch, but also supports the podcast. And that is going to nobledunch.com/HEKVNLEC. And that link will also be in the show notes. And I am back. So let's jump in with episode 3. So she still wants to be with him. We're talking Taylor and Dakota here. But this is now my sign. Honey bunny, you had signs a long time ago. You had signs when you found out he was talking to Mrs. Robinson. Or so I say. I don't know if she actually is that old. But yeah, your signs have been there. Just now you're realizing that they're signs? Jesus Christ. She's crying and Jordan hugs her and she says it hurts, which did break my heart. She's like, it hurts. Like, it really did break my heart. Now I'm over it. I have to move on, she says. I don't have a choice. And then she calls him and says, did you enjoy it? Oh my God. And he's like, no, Taylor, I didn't. Oh, you didn't finish? And he's like, well, yeah. So you did enjoy it. I don't know if finishing necessarily equates to enjoying it, but what do I know? He's like, I never didn't want you, or does she say that? I don't know who says that. I mean, you had some guy you loved. Don't know who we're referring to here. Ben? I don't know. Never said that. You don't like him? You like her? Oh God, this is so toxic. No. You know her? No. So you just had sex with some random hoe? Good for you. Why does it matter? Why? All this is for the reunion, which definitely gives context to the reunion. Um, and how he didn't want to be on stage with her or any of the mom talk and all of this. So it adds context to it, but I'm just, why does it matter if he's fucking this girl or fucking that girl or you're with some guy or not with some guy? What does it matter? You guys are not supposed to be together right now. Make it make sense. And this is why he didn't want to be, this I said that's right around her and mom talk. So with, did I say Zanny? I think it's Zach. With Zach and Jen, he says, I trust Marciano more than I do Demi. We all do. We all trust Marciano more. He actually feels remorseful, but more happened than just the kiss. And then he brings up Dakota. What happened with Dakota? So Demi and Brett are doing voice exercises in their car, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Why? Because we're at a recording studio. So, or I think the thing this was producers being like, Demi, why are we at a recording studio today? So they are recording True Colors by Cyndi Lauper. Oh my God. Oh my God. Every time, first of all, I mean, this isn't saying much, but I thought Brett was a better singer than she is. Not saying much. But like, he'll start singing and she's like, I think you're a little pitchy. And then he'll start singing, I think you're up here. I need you down here. He'll start singing again and she's like, you're pitchy again. Like meanwhile, she sounds like shit. You have no reason to be singing. Then they took the reunion and he is so ready to defend her. So ready. Oh, get the fuck out of here. Because Whitney told me that Zach said that Marciano said, it's just like, Hagrid told me that Seamus told him. Anyways, the rest of the more happened. And now it just makes sense why he came hard for Zach at the reunion, because he's the one with the message. It's ridiculous. They're ridiculous. This whole thing is ridiculous. Anyways, we see Chase, Miranda, Layla, and Mason talking about Cabin Gate. I'm thoroughly confused about this situation. Apparently, they were all at a cabin. They invited some people, and then swinging happened. I don't really know. And apparently, they had invited Mayci and Jacob, but because the rumors I think already started happening, they declined. And this was just weird. But Chase is wondering if that's why Mayci has it out for him a little bit because of that. No, sir, she has it out for you because you talk shit. Or you were. Who knows? But now Miranda is like, I think they thought that we were inviting them to swing. Well, when you're swinging and you invite people who aren't swinging, I'm just saying. Anyways, so Taylor is going to get breasts. I said breastfeed. My autocorrected to breastfeed augmentation. It's just breast augmentation. Anyway, she goes through that process. Afterwards, she's crying. I ruined my life. I'm so sad. Girl, be sad. Feel the feelings. And then move the fuck on. Please, I'm begging you. Anyway, she's crying. Well, first of all, I didn't mention this part. Leanne's here. She's crying about her life. My heart hurts. He never loved me, ever. No, he probably did. Don't say ever. But he probably did. But now, it's not even so much that he doesn't now, but it's just a matter of, are you two meant to be together? Are you two healthy for each other? No, and no. No. Moving on. So Jessi talks about the Gabby situation. So the chick we heard about from last episode. And how she brought up emotional cheating with Demi. And how this is a pattern. apparently she's kind of done this before. And I don't know if I missed this, but Demi actually admitted to doing this before, but not with Marciano. Just need to say that out there. It's like, okay, wait, hold on. You want me to believe, like I was born yesterday, that you have emotionally cheated on your partners in the past with other people, but not Marciano. Okay. Just wanted to be sure I'm following here. That makes no fucking sense, ma'am. I actually said this while watching. Just admit it. I'll have more respect for you if you just admitted it. And I don't think it'll necessarily ruin her marriage. Like, I don't know. But I think because she's gone with the lie so much and has made Brett support her, which, he's her husband. He should be doing that. But I think because it would be so bad because she's dug herself such a deep ass hole right now, that I think because he has defended her through thick and thin, to find out she's lying the entire time would potentially piss him off and maybe would be grounds for him to be like, fuck this shit, I'm out. But if you were just honest from the beginning and said, yeah, I did this, go through your feels and either you make it through or you don't make it through. Like, what are you teaching your children by saying it's okay to lie like this? Just be honest. I'll have more respect for you. This is why, current situations aside, this is why Taylor is relatable and is fairly liked by most, I would think. I know there's people who don't like her, but people who do like her, because she's just honest. She's just who she is. She's not sugarcoating who she is as a person. Demi is. Just tell us the truth. It's fine. Just same thing with Jessi. She went through some shit. She was emotionally cheating on Jordan with Marciano. She admitted it. It wasn't easy. Clearly, it just has affected her marriage. Also, I think, shit with Jordan has affected their marriage. But they're trying. They're trying to come out of it. And when it comes to the public view of things, Jessi's fine. She owned it. And I can appreciate her owning it. And we can move on. It's just own it to me. It's not that difficult. Anyways, well, maybe not now because you got lawsuits and shit. So Mayci, Mikayla, Jacob, and Chase are meeting up. By the way, Mikayla's only here because Mayci wants moral support. He immediately apologizes for the shit he has said on the podcast. He did it for the clicks, and it was stupid. Mayci, I've had a harder time because saying shit on my friends, like saying Layla is bad, or she says, I miss that part, she says, I have a harder time because you're saying shit on my friends, like for example, saying that Layla is bad in bed. Yikes. I don't know. I'm not gonna talk about Layla and her skill set because we know she definitely has, I think, a very unhealthy relationship with sex. I think that's based on what we know, what we've seen in the past. But she definitely comes across as a woman who, because she's maybe not fully confident in herself, and this would have been a time that she was dealing with Chase. So we know that she didn't really feel confident in herself, didn't maybe feel confident in asserting herself in sex. And I think for that, it takes a lot of time for some women to kind of get there. I know for me, it did. Like, I don't always feel comfortable asserting myself, when I was around her age, but you get there and you get a little bit more confident. But at that time, as we know, she just didn't have that. I can imagine that back then, at least, I can't speak to now, but back then, at least, she maybe was like a pillow princess a little bit. Does that make her bad in bed? No, it has made her a little inexperienced. You don't have to say it though, Chase. That's what's fucked up. Anyways. And then there was the whole cabin situation, as we've talked about. We didn't swing there all the time. Just twice. Fuck. Mikayla says it's interesting timing that he's apologizing in front of a camera instead of off of camera. So I will just keep on holding my grudge. And Mikayla is really good at holding a grudge. She really is. We've seen it. Now we get to the reunion. Some of this might be being rehashed because it happened at the reunion. We saw it, I think, there. So, anyways, yeah, we're at the reunion. And we know that how that turned out, of course. I think it was about Demi or backstage, and she even says, Jen and that asshole is a liar. Why are they the liars, but you're not? I'm just saying. She says, you only hate me because I'm the only one who called you out. That's what Jen said. And Jessi says, the issue is your story changes. You're not a victim, but now you're a victim. You're saying you weren't then, and now you are. And then we see the fight with Brett and Zach again. Again, made me feel bad for Zach just for a second. Zach is like, we talked to Marciano. They were flirting. There was kissing. Hot tubs. And then we see that clip with Lisa Vanderpump, of course, where she says, listen, I reviewed the footage. There ain't shit about shit any different than what is being said by Mom Talk. They have every reason to have some distrust towards Demi. And I don't know about you. Listen, I haven't watched like Vanderpump Rules or anything like that. The most I've seen Lisa Vanderpump is like in Gordon Ramsay's Food Stars, because I am a Gordon Ramsay girly. So that's the most I've seen her. But at the end of the day, I would definitely trust Lisa Vanderpump any day in this over Demi or even Marciano. Really and truly over any of these people. Let me be totally honest with you. If Lisa Vanderpump is saying they have reason to not trust her, then I believe her. So fuck you, Demi. That's all I gotta say about that. But Brett is just a dick to Zach, of course, as we saw. Back to Demi, she's like, I wanted to reach out to you, Jessi, but like, Marciano told me, like, don't you dare. And I got scared again. What the fuck? So we're being told by Marciano last season that he was wanted to tell you, Jessi, the truth of what was going on, and that Demi was facilitating everything. That's what happened, and you're the puppet master in all of this. Now, in this season, you want me to believe that he's the puppet master in all of this. I'm just going to say this. Marciano looks real stupid. I don't think he's smart enough to conspire make a lavish plan to fuck with Jessi. Demi, on the other hand, listen, the one thing we can say about a narcissist is they are intelligent and they are capable of manipulation. So I'm not saying Marciano isn't. I don't know Marciano enough. But just a little bit that I've seen, he doesn't come across as someone who's manipulative. To me, on the other hand, sure does. And Brett's garbage, so, it is what it is. But Jessi's done with this friendship. 2 strikes, you're out, girl. I think it's 2. I don't even know. So, we're going to be doing an event, and Mom Talk is going to support her. I don't know who's doing the event right now. Was it Mayci? Was it Whitney? Whitney, I think it was Whitney. Yeah, I think it was Whitney. So yeah, Whitney has this event going on, and guess what, guys? Demi does not show up, which is very interesting because they did bring it up. It's funny because when Mayci had her baby mama drama product thing, Demi was the facilitator for everyone to unfollow Whitney because she didn't show up. So now that Whitney has her event and you're supposed to be best of friends, why the fuck aren't you there? Saying, I don't feel well and I'm still trying to process everything. So is every other woman who did show up for Whitney. Jesus, like, it's just ridiculous. Anyways, that is it for me, y'all. That is it for this episode. We will be coming with the next episode very soon. But until then, that's it for this episode. If you liked what you heard, bear with me because I have not done an outro for the podcast in quite some time. So bear with me here. So if you liked what you heard, you can go to any of your favorite podcast apps. You can follow, make sure you don't miss a single episode. And you can also rate the podcast at either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It'd be greatly appreciated. As a reminder, any 5-star ratings that are given to the podcast or any comments that are given to the podcast will be read on the podcast, which I have done in the past. If you want to connect with the podcast through social media, you can find me at Facebook and Instagram at realityt2. You can also find me at Twitter, TikTok, and Blue Sky at realityt2pod. I believe you can email me at realityt2@hotmail.com, and you can have any inquiries, anything like that, any ideas, any shows or episodes you want me to cover, you can definitely do that over there. And I am going back to our old website, and that is at solo.to/realityt2. There you can get any of the links to anything that I didn't mention here, any of the socials, website, email, all of that. It's all there for you. And we also have a new thing there where you can help support the podcast as well. It's called a tip jar. And you can tip whatever your heart's desire if you want to support the podcast, but don't want to necessarily support the podcast in going to Patreon, for example, or any of the links in any of the advertisements. You can do it there. But since we're on the topic of Patreon, you can head on over to patreon.com/realityt2, where there you can get access to even more than what I do here. There are 3 different tiers where you can get these shows ad free, as well as our next tier up where you would get another reality show that's being covered. So, we have Jersey Shore that's been getting covered. That's still being covered currently at the time of recording of this outro, but the future is bright with what's to come in the future, which I will be discussing, or I have discussed. I don't even know. And then also our next tier is a true crime tier as well. So you can definitely head over for that. But that is basically it. I will also just quickly mention here too, if you're interested in a different take of a podcast that I'm a part of, we do things a little differently, you can head on over to Next Take Podcast, where I usually drop bonus episodes here on this feed, but there you get a lot more. And that podcast is making changes. We're growing, doing new things, but you can definitely head on over there if you want to just hear a little bit different than what I do over here. So you can find that podcast over at our website, solo.to/next take podcast. And there we'll have all the links to your desire that will link you to any of your favorite podcast apps or YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all of it. Social medias, it's all over there. But of course, you can still find that podcast at any of your favorite podcast apps. But that is it for this episode. We'll see you next time with another episode. Bye, everybody.